Good morning, everyone. It's Miss Camarillo. Sorry, I was just enjoying some coffee and some Cinderella tunes. Today, I'm going to help you work on Lesson 6, Part 1 and Part 2. So today's lesson has two parts to it. So make sure that you're on the right page that says Tuesday at the top, Lesson 6, Part 1. So last week, we introduced some vocabulary words to you, and one of them was a special word that started with a T. Does anybody remember what that word was? I'll give you 10 seconds to think about it. It starts with a T. It has to do what we've been thinking about. Cinderella. That's right, trait. Everybody say trait. Echo. Nice job. So trait, remember, is defined as what a character is like. What a character is like. How someone behaves, how they choose to act, those are the traits that they have. Sometimes we have good traits, and sometimes we have not so good traits. So today we're going to talk about the traits that Cinderella has, and then why we admire those traits. And then you're going to get to write about them. So let's look here. First, we're going to read the instructions. Look at each picture of Cinderella and think of the trait she is showing. Okay? So I'm going to look at each one of these pictures, and then I'm going to think about what is she showing? What trait? I see that she's cleaning right here. So above it, it says hardworking. I really admire Cinderella for being hardworking. Seems like she's always cleaning. Another trait that she's showing here is grateful. She doesn't have a lot of things, but the tiny animals, they were able to get some of the old supplies and recycle them and create a beautiful dress. And she's looking at it with such love, and she's feeling grateful. So that's a good trait to have. Another trait we see here is appreciative. She didn't have the best dress before, and then something happened, and her fairy godmother was able to create a really beautiful dress for her. So she feels appreciative. It's another good trait. Another trait we see over here at the bottom is her stepsisters kind of pulling on her dress that those animals made for her. I'm pretty sure Cinderella is forgiving. That's another trait that she has. It wasn't a very nice thing for her stepsisters to do, but Cinderella went ahead and forgave them, and that's another good trait to have as well. The last trait we see here at the bottom is honest. She is showing one of the helpers, the coachman, that she has the other glass slipper. And so she's being honest and telling the truth, and then at the end she gets rewarded. So we have a few different traits. We have hardworking, grateful, appreciative, forgiving, and honest. If you can think of another trait that Cinderella has, you can go ahead and write about that one as well. So now we're going to move on to the second part. So at the top it says Lesson 6, Part 2. This is the part that you're going to get to fill out. We're going to read the instructions together, and then I'll show you the sentence stem, and then you guys will be able to do this part on your own. So number 1, look at the picture traits of Cinderella. So if you need to, you can just kind of go back and pick which one that you really admire about her, you really like, and you can pick that one. Write which Cinderella trait is your favorite and why. So when you're looking at these traits, I want you to think about, oh, you may like that she's hardworking, but you need to be able to explain why you admire that she's hardworking. Or maybe you admire that she's being honest, and then you have to have a good reason why. And the last part is use this sentence stem. I admire Cinderella for being blank because she blank. So, I admire Cinderella for being blank. In parentheses here, you see trait or the characteristic. So that's where you're going to put which trait. Whether you think it's because she's being honest or hardworking or she's forgiving. Any one of those traits that we talked about, you're going to pick your favorite one and put it here in the beginning of the sentence stem. For example, I admire Cinderella for being hardworking because she, and then your why is going to go in the second blank. Now remember, if you're choosing that she's being hardworking, you're not going to write something about her loving animals because those two don't really go together and they don't make sense. So whichever trait you choose, you have to make sure that it matches, right? So always fill in your sentence stem, and then you're going to go back and make sure you have a capital, your finger space, your trait, and then make sure your why matches why you like that trait so much, why you admire her. When you have those things filled in, you're going to come down here and rewrite your sentence. Double checking, rereading, editing. If you want to go ahead and write another sentence and another sentence, the more writing, the better. You're just going to get better once you practice more. So if you need any help, remember you can contact Miss L or Miss Camarillo. Bye, guys.